and welcome into Cullman today. I'm Debbie Wood. We have two very special guests with us this morning. Doug Davenport. Doug is the director for all the Cullman County parks. We're going to be talking with him this morning, and also Tony Harris, who is the director for the Smith Lake Park. And so we're going to learn a lot this morning. If you've been wanting to get out and enjoy one of our beautiful parks and great places to go, they are certainly here to share with us how you can do that. So good morning to both of you.
Morning.
Good to see you. Doug, I'm going to start out with you. How long have you been on the job?
I've been the park director for about 16 months, but I've been with the county about 16 years.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah.
Okay, now what did you do before then? I didn't think to ask.
Okay, I started out working in the water department.
Did you really?
Yes,
okay. Now, do you love it? I would think being outside like you are.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I get bored easy, so it's something different. You go from one place, it's just general picnics to off-roading or to the lake, so
Absolutely.
I really enjoy it.
Share with us how many total parks we have in our county. I think this is going to surprise people. And I know, we know we have Smith Lake and Sportsman's, but tell us about them.
Well, I actually have 5 parks that I oversee, but there's a total of 40 parks in Cullman County, and I didn't realize that the other day.
Wow.
We had a tourism meeting, you know, time you take Holly Pond, Hansville, and all the little individual parks, but there's a total of 40 parks in Cullman County.
Wow.
But now I'm over 5, so
okay,
and that's enough.
That's plenty, isn't it? Sportsman's Lake, I think that surprises a lot of people that because it's right in the city, but that is in the county. That area is in the county.
Yes, ma'am. It's county owned, but inside the city limits.
Inside the city limits, and then of course Smith Lake Park. But let's talk a little bit about Sportsman's Lake before we get into Smith Lake. So much to see and do up there, and I think we've got some pictures we're going to take a look at very quickly. What are we looking at right here?
That is the pier there where people go out and feed the fish or feed the ducks from it. You know, and they're permitted to fish anywhere except from the pier there. It's just like a feeding area, you know.
Oh, okay. So anywhere around the perimeter of the lake?
Yes, ma'am.
But not on the pier?
Yeah. Yeah, we just asked them not to fish on the pier.
Love the ducks.
And we got several Canadian geese that comes in there. And that's our paddle boats there.
Now, it looks like maybe you've got some new ones?
I think probably it's been about 2 years since they've acquired some new ones.
Now, easy to rent when you go up there. Just do you know the fees, the amount?
It's $3 for 30 minutes, and you know, most time that's more than what they want the time they get out there. A lot of them say, "Can we do it for an hour or 2 hours?" And we have had a few that leave the boats on the other side of the lake. We'd have to go after them. They couldn't make it back, so they just get to the shore. Yeah.
Enough pedaling. I love it. And the train, everybody loves the train. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah. So that's a big asset there, and well, actually starting today, it'll be running 7 days a week, where in the past we've only run it like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh, okay. So, now that school's out,
yeah,
7 days?
now that school's out, we're running it 7 days. We want to try that to see. I mean, it's kind of a trial run thing to see how it's doing.
Okay, great. And of course, Tony, we want to talk with you just a second there. Well, let's finish this one up very quickly. Most of us, I think, were there on Saturday for this, the Veterans Park there at Sportsman's Lake. How beautiful is that?
It is a beautiful place.
Now, this was an actual tank. I mean, it used to be in commission.
Yeah, and I believe that's the one that came from the VFW down, south of Cullman.
Yes.
Down there, they'd relocated up there. Yeah. And that's some of the walking trails up there at Sportsman's Lake, or the walking path, should say. This asphalted all the way around the lake.
And that makes it so nice. Wildflower garden, I love this. All those ladies take such good care of it. It's so pretty back in there.
Yeah, Miss Moon does a wonderful job of that. Yeah. So.
She loves it too. She's so precious. Now this is still part of the track, I think, or the trail around?
Yes, ma'am. It's just a different shot from another angle.
So pretty. Tony, we want to talk a little bit before we start looking at our other pictures, a little bit about Smith Lake Park. Now, you are new to this.
Yes.
How long?
I've only been on the job right at 4 months.
4 months. Do you love it too?
Yeah, I do. I love working outdoors. I've said it before, I'm amazed going down every day, and it's a lot of work, but there's a lot of beauty that surrounds me every day, and I just, it's kind of like working at the beach,
Exactly.
You got a lot of beauty around you, but there's a lot of work to be done too to keep it looking beautiful.
It really is, isn't it? So tell us sort of what you're responsible for as far as the park itself, Smith Lake.
Well, mainly we basically want to keep the park looking nice for our guests when they come in on the weekends to camp, but there's a lot of grass to be cut, a lot of weed eating to be done. a lot of trash.
I hope you have help.
Yeah, oh yes, we have. We have great staff that takes great pride in their work. We got, trash washed up on the beach. A lot of people don't realize what washes up on the water. The beach area has to be cleaned, and we've just opened up the pool this weekend. So now the pool's open. So that's another thing that needs to be taken care of. And of course, we want to expand our events coming up. We as far as car shows and etc. Trying to expand more to have something at least once a month down there.
I was going to say you're doing quite a bit already, so that is great that you're doing that. Let's talk a little bit about, and we're going to look at some pictures in a minute too, but you've got cabins on the premises. You've got the pool, you've got the cabins, a boat launch. We're going to take a look at that in a minute. Let's go ahead and do that, Michael, and see what we can expect. Oh, we do? Okay. Well, we can go ahead and do Stony Lonesome, and that is not an area that you take care of, but Doug, you take care of that area. That falls under your umbrella.
Yes, ma'am. We have Mary Payton is the manager down at that park.
Okay.
And it's like 1,596 acres down there.
That many?
Yes,
1,500? Wow.
So.
Now this I thought was amazing. They're in the water. You've got great mountain bike trails at Stony Lonesome. And folks, there is a big difference between a regular bike and a mountain bike trails. Trust me on that. What are we looking at right here?
That looks like a shot from the cabins down there at Stony Lonesome. Around the picnic area, it's out in front of the cabins. And that's just somebody having a good time out in the mud. And it's kind of all different. There's some different levels of what you're accustomed to riding, for an easy trail to extreme mud trails.
Oh my word! So you can bring these kind of vehicles down there too?
Yeah, you can ride anything from you can come down there and go on a walking trail. You can bring your bicycle, motorcycle, all the way up to rock crawler, jeeps, anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
And the horses.
Yeah.
Wow.
We don't have a whole lot of people come and ride horses. It's kind of sporadic. Sometimes we may have 6 or 8 a month, and we may go a few months and not have anybody come in.
Is there a particular trail just for the horses? Or they're all out there together? Because I would think.
Oh no, it's a particular trail for it.
Okay, great. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about them getting spooked.
No.
We used to ride horses, and you sure don't want anything coming up on you like this pretty quick. So the Jeeps. Now, you were talking about the terrain. You have different levels then. Something maybe that's a little bit more steep.
Oh yes, ma'am. It's there's some of them that I wouldn't even go up myself. That these guys will go up, and we hosted the Jeep Jamboree for the last 3 years, and there's people from California and Virginia that towed a Jeep that far to come ride in the woods, and they've already booked it for this year.
Wow.
And
when is that typically held? In the fall?
Yes, ma'am. And then Tennessee Off-Roaders, a club that just came down 2 weeks ago, and they want to start coming down and riding and get with us on booking an event down there. And typically what they do is come and camp and stay and ride in the park for the whole week.
Obviously, it's a great place, or they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's just like like a lot of people go out maybe and travel in a caravan, so to speak, from one campground to the other. Well, they do this to different off-road parks, because one of the gentlemen told me he hadn't been home in 5 weeks.
Oh, good grief.
So, he'd been on the road just going from one park to the next.
It must be nice.
Yeah.
Just one big vacation. How about that? Well, that is wonderful. Let's talk a little bit about, now you've got cabins there too. For some of these folks, if they don't bring, is there a place for travel trailers?
Yes, ma'am. We've got full hookups, and then we've got some of the FEMA trailers there, and then we've got some cabins there as well.
Okay.
So a total.
What kind of money are we
22.
talking about roughly? Just
I believe it's $71 a night for the cabin or for the trailer, and then for the full hookup, it's like $24.50. I think it is. If you just bring your own RV or travel trailer, and then we've got primitive camping there. If you don't want anything but just sleep on the ground, that's available as well.
All right, bring those tents. So we're talking about a great park right here in our community, and let's go ahead and take a look at I think we've got the Smith Lake stuff coming up next. And who is this, and what are we?
This is Kevin Hawk. He is a fisherman of ours. He's a pro fisherman. We've decided to sponsor him, and Doug could probably tell you a little bit more about that. This was coming on as I was coming into my job, but he carries the name Smith Lake Park, Cullman, Alabama, on the side of his boat. Great. All over the country, wherever he fishes. I don't know where he fishes, but all over. So we're riding up and down the road with him all the time.
Neat, neat. Now this is so pretty, but folks, if you haven't been to launch your boat there at Smith Lake Park, great launch. It's wide. it's just a great, but this is also the dock, I guess, where you could pull your boat up to it, couldn't you? Once you
so
put
boat
it in.
dock there, just to the left of that picture, you can see the boat launch itself, which is free to the public. This is the cabins. There's 6 right there. These are down pretty close to the water. There's a total of 9, but these 6 are closest to the water, and they rent for $71 a night. That's tax included.
Okay. Now this is something that's fairly new, right?
No, I believe they've been there for
They've been there for a while?
They've been there about 8 years.
Oh, have they really? Well, I'm behind. Okay. So they're close to the water, and of course that is, it's just such a pretty area for a picnic.
Yeah, just some of the picnicking area, yes.
Always well maintained.
The pool, the pool's open, like I said, this weekend. We just gave it a fresh coat of paint. That's actually an older picture. We went and spruced it up and gave it a fresh coat of paint, so it looks really well. And of course, the putt-putt golf, that's $3. The pricing on the pool is $5 admission for an adult and $3.50 for children, and they do book parties down there.
Oh, do they really?
Yes.
Okay. Private parties for that?
Yes. And not sure the pricing, but we can get you that if you call.
That'll be great. Now, the pool opened this past weekend, and for Memorial Day weekend, of course, we've got an extra weekend this month, but so you're going to have to go out that way and take the kids and go for a picnic or spend the night or whatever, just have fun. And great beach area, isn't there? You have a really good sandy beach area.
Well, it's actually not sand there. We call it the beach area. It's more grassy, but it depends on where the water's at the time. But right now, it's right there at the edge of the grass.
Water's up, isn't it?
Yeah, we call it. It's just a big open area that people congregate. I was down there yesterday, and I'm guessing, I bet there was 500 people down there. It was it was a ton of folks down there. But and it's free to the public too. It's you just drive in and use it. But I was going to kind of give you some. I was thinking about. What was I going to say? I had something, a train of thought on my.
Well, what about
the pricing on the camping?
The camping, yes.
We're currently looking at renovating some of the sites and upgrading, so it'll put us up to around 220 camping sites.
Great.
And I believe there's about 70 tent sites.
Okay.
And the tent sites range from, they're about $15 a night.
Okay.
And and you're about $25 a night on full hookups for the RVs.
Okay, wonderful. So, open pretty much, like if somebody's coming in this weekend, they can come in early and check in.
You can stop at the office when you come in if you're coming in after hours, and you can get availability, and there's a drop box, you can leave your payment and then come back up when the office opens up in the morning, and we'll take care of it.
Okay, great. We also want to talk about Clarkson Covered Bridge, and of course it's 270-foot bridge, was constructed in 1904? Destroyed by a flood in 1921 and rebuilt the following year. It's the only remaining covered bridge in Cullman County, and of course it was restored back in 1975. And Doug, tell us, I think it's getting ready to have another renovation?
Yes, ma'am. Well, we've been waiting on state, and this grant had actually been tabled for different studies for the last 7 or 8 years, actually. So we're really excited that the work's about to begin on it. And once they start on it, they'll go in and dismantle portions of it. They'll scaffold up from the ground up to help support the wood as they're taking out and dismantling it, and then replace all that with new wood. So
wow.
It's supposed to be a 100-day project, and that's 100 actual working days. But now during part of that, while they're waiting on the replacement materials to come in, the bridge will not be able to, we'll have to have it closed off. But the park will still be open, but just the bridge itself will be closed.
Now, I would call those girders or the brick,
pillars,
the rock pillars.
Yeah.
That's going to stay, right?
Yes,
it's just the wood is needing to be replaced.
Yeah, they'll just come up from those there and scaffold all the way from the ground up to level it for some of the wood is, and a lot of it's been those carpenter bees has gotten in there and destroyed some of it. It's not, it's not from just the age of it or from termites. The majority of the problem seems to be from the carpenter bees.
From the carpenter bees, my goodness. Well, we just saw, Michael, can you go back to that last picture, please? We just saw what I refer to as a mill, and tell us sort of, this actually works sometimes, doesn't it? You have it turning if there's enough water.
Well, the pond is actually, we just had it cleaned out this year, first time it ever done, and had it finished, and there was 300 something loads of silt come out of it. But the wheels are not operational right now. We're trying to get it repaired because at some point in time I think they'd replaced parts of it, and it just kind of got egg shaped, and when the water turned it, it broke an off part of it. But the old mill is actually still in the basement of the cottage there.
Wow.
You know, where people would get their cornmeal ground.
Yeah, and it's such a neat place, folks. If you haven't been out there in a while, you need to go out there and check it out. And certainly after the renovations, it'd be a great time to take the family. We've ridden horses all out through there and across. Of course, they don't like to go across those bridges. That's been about 10 years ago. They don't like the regular bridge on the road or that bridge, but beautiful area. So try to get out that way and check it out. And we're going to take a break. And when we come back, now we're going to talk to both of these fellows about some of the things that are going on throughout the summer, some activities and stuff that they're encouraging people to participate in. So we'll be back with more of Cullman Today right after this.